Hello students, so let's continue with this chapter chemical control and coordination. So today we'll start with the most important topic of the chapter called hormones. So definition of hormones is the definition that is given in NCERT. As it is, I have written on the board. Let's practice the definition. What it says: hormones are non-nutrient chemicals. Hormones are non-nutrient chemicals which acts as intracellular messengers. Hormones are non-nutrient chemicals which acts as intracellular messengers and are produced in trace amount. So this is the definition of hormone that is mentioned, definition of hormones that is given in NCERT. I am repeating the definition. Hormones are non-nutrient chemicals which acts as intracellular messengers and are produced in trace amount. There are a number of things hidden in the definition itself. So it can explain that the hormones are non-nutrients, hormones are intracellular messengers, hormones are produced in trace amount. So this is a definition of hormones. Now let's talk about the discovery of hormones. How exactly hormones are discovered and who discovered the hormones. So whenever you're talking about the term hormones, it's a Greek word. Hormone is a Greek word. It's a Greek word which means, it means to excite or to arouse. So this is the meaning of the term hormones, to excite or to arouse. Okay, so that's the meaning. So exactly who discovered these hormones and how these hormones are discovered, this is also very important in the beginning of this chapter. So when you talk about discovery of hormones, there are two persons, there are two scientists. One is called, you can see, William Bayliss and Ernst. This is William Bayliss and Ernst Starling. So these are the two persons who discovered, physiologists and biologists, they discovered the hormones. But how they discovered the hormone, this is very interesting. So when they were studying during 1902, they discovered this particular hormones. How they discovered the hormones and the action of the hormones and which hormone was discovered first. So what is the discovery? Basically, they wanted to know that what is the connection between the nervous system, and the pancreas. Nervous system and pancreas. They wanted to know that because what they were thinking, the functions of this pancreas are under control of nervous system, So what they have done, they cut the connection between nervous system and the pancreas. Okay, so they cut the nervous system, the connection between nervous system and pancreas, and they found that still the secretions of pancreas, that is controlling the digestive functions, that are maintained even if they remove the connection between the pancreas and the brain. So then what they understood, there must be something more. It's not the nervous system, there is some another system that is operating the functions of this pancreas, and this system is nothing but the endocrine system. Then Starling and this Bayliss, they understood that the hormone, it is known as, what is the hormone called as? Secretin. The hormone called as secretin. You already studied the hormone secretin when we talk about the hormones that are produced by GI tract. So this particular secretin hormone is secreted by your gastrointestinal tract, and that is going to control the functions of this pancreas. So remember, secretin is the first hormone that was discovered by Starling and Bayliss. If the term hormone actually came in 1905. Okay, the experiment was performed in 1902, but Starling coined the term hormone in 1905. This is also important. So this is a discovery of the hormones, and this, the secretin is the first hormone that was discovered. Okay, so this is the discovery of the hormones, and there is the scientist, and we repeating again, it's a Greek word which means to excite or to stimulate, to arouse. Okay, the term hormone was coined by Starling. The term hormone was coined by Starling in 1905. This is also important, you remember for MCQ. And they discovered the first hormone called as what? secretin. Even if the connection between this brain and the pancreas is cut, the functions of pancreas are normal. That means secretin is that hormone of GI tract that is controlling the functions of this pancreas, right? So this was the discovery of hormones. Let's talk about the next topic, which is called as properties of hormones. So what are the different properties of hormones? Sometimes I am writing in abbreviations, try to understand these particular terms. Property of hormones. So what is the first property of the hormones? I am writing the first property. It is known as a specificity. The first property is a specificity. What does it mean? You studied enzymes in the last year in biochemistry of the cell. You studied enzymes. So you know that enzymes are also specific in action. Very similarly, hormones are also specific in action. That's a specificity. For example, if you know the hormone called as TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. This TSH is going to control the activity of which gland? Thyroid gland only, but not to the another gland. Like suppose there is adrenal, so it will not act on adrenal, it will only act on thyroid gland. So this is called specificity. So hormones are highly specific in their action, and they act on specific receptors that are present on the cell membrane or that may be present within the cell. Okay, we'll see what are the receptors that are controlled by the hormones. The second property is low molecular weight. Remember, the first property of the hormones is a specificity. We need to study different properties so that it will be very easy to discuss the further chapter. So, first property is specificity. They are specific in their action. Hormones have low molecular weight so that they are easily carried by blood and they can easily pass through capillaries. Next is hormones are produced in stress amount. We already studied this property in definition that the need of the hormones by the body is very less, so they are producing stress amount. This is also important. Next property of the hormones is hormones are chemical nature. I'm talking about. We need to talk this topic like what is the chemical classification of the hormones. There are questions on chemical classification of hormones. Chemical nature. Hormones are chemically proteins also. Hormones are chemically steroids also. Hormones are chemically amines also, and hormones are chemically eicosanoids also. So this is a different classification of hormones. Some hormones are proteins, peptides, some hormones are steroids, some hormones are amines, and some hormones are eicosanoids. Some gaseous hormones are also discovered, right? So these are some properties. Next property of the hormones is, remember next property of hormones, I'm writing here, it is paracrine, it is autocrine, and endocrine. So what are these different terms are? The paracrines, the autocrines, and endocrines. What does it mean? Paracrine means the hormones when they controls the nearby cells. It's called as when they control nearby cells. We don't talk about paracrine cells. So suppose these are the cells, right? So when this hormone is controlling the adjacent cells, the nearby cells, without passing into the blood, that particular hormones are called paracrines. So these hormones are paracrines. When they controls the organ which is at distant level, then hormone pass through the blood and then it controls another cell or organ. These hormones are endocrines, and when they control the same cell, they are produced by the same cell and they control the same cell, these hormones are called autocrines. So these properties are important. Paracrines are those hormones that are going to control the nearby cells. There are some hormones that are called autocrine or intracrine also because they control the same cell, and some hormones are called as endocrines, right? Large number of hormones are endocrines. This is most important property. So what is the property number one? Specificity. Yes, hormones are specific in their action. Low molecular weight is very important. Trace amount is very important. Hormones, chemically hormones are proteins also, steroids also, amines also, and eicosanoids also. Hormones are paracrines as well as hormones are autocrines, and hormones are endocrine. Paracrine means they control the nearby cells. Autocrines means they control the same cell, and endocrine means they control the distant cell or distant organ. Next property is, yes, hormones are soluble in blood. Naturally, If you know that hormones are directly poured into the blood and they are carried by blood up to the target organ, so naturally hormones are soluble in blood. Remember, next property is known as tropic action. So what do you mean by tropic action? So tropic action means hormones are produced at one place and they shows their effect on another place, a distinct organ. Simple, you better know that the gland called as pituitary gland. This pituitary is going to produce what? TSH is going to secrete TSH, and the TSH is going to control the activity of gland called as thyroid. So naturally, the pituitary gland is present, you better know, in the brain, right? In the brain, in the pineal, you can see in the sella thoracic of the sphenoid bone, and that is going to control the thyroid gland. So this is quite distinct. Such hormones are called as tropic hormones. We are going to talk these local hormones also and some another hormones also. So, but tropic action means that produced at one place and they shows their effect on distinct place or distinct organs, right? So they are soluble in blood. One more property is that hormones shows what is called as dual control. Correct. It's not like that hormones are always increasing the activities of the organs, but they can also inhibit the activities through feedback control. This is also important, the dual control of the hormones, right? And next is one more property we can study regarding the disorder of hormones. Remember one thing, whenever you talk about disorders of the hormones, what does it mean? Hormones causes disorders, yes, but both the secretions, like it is known as hypersecretion as well as hyposecretion, both can cause disorders of the hormones. So these are the different properties of the hormones, right? Now let's talk about the chemistry of hormones or chemical classification of hormones, and most important is the mechanism of the action of the hormones. So we'll continue this in the next session. Thank you.